You've got this new single, Kill Me to Keep Loving You, out now. What was it about this song? I'm sure you have a lot or music you've been working on. What was it though about this particular song that made you want to drop it first? And what kind of reception have you been receiving to it?
Yeah. Well, I heard this song first when I was in the studio with the guys and Buck Johnson, one of the keyboard player from Aerosmith, which I had the privilege of working with. He brought me this song that he had kind of in his closet for a while, almost 3 to 4 years, and he wrote it for a certain person, and that person didn't really want the song, and he wrote it for just because it's such a good song. He wrote it for whoever would sing it, and no one really wanted to capture it. And I heard the demo of it when we were in the studio, and it definitely had a different feel to it, kind of a pop country sort of feel. But I heard the lyrics, and I was just coming out of something that I could relate with the song really well. And so I was in my basement, actually at my parents' place at the time, and I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And I demoed it, and then everybody heard it, and they really liked it. And then we went to the studio, and then it just became bigger and bigger and bigger. When you got all the guys around it, and then when I did my vocals down in Nashville for it, it just really came together. And I just love the simplicity of it and how big it is, but it's so relatable to people. It could be anything that's killing you to keep loving it. I mean, I think everybody goes through that sort of thing in their life. So I love the concept, and I sang. I just gave it all I got. I didn't really even think about it when I sang it. It was related to me first more than anything. I understood it. So
I mean, it's an incredible song from an incredibly put together all-star group of individuals.
oh yes, yes.
Were these people you've worked with over the past and you were called them all together? How did this band find its way together?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a crazy lineup, right?
Eclectic.
Like,
It's
how did
very
all these people get
eclectic,
in the
is what I
same
would
room?
describe.
I know. So I went to David Davidian. David Davidian is Alice Cooper's tour manager, and I was working with him at the time. And during COVID, I really wanted to put a record together, and he kind of suggested maybe like trying to get all of these people that aren't playing at this time maybe together, and the people that he met on the road or people that he had good relationships with, or that he knew personally, that he knew that the personalities would match, or the good souls would come together, and great players, obviously. And then he kind of started sending my stuff out to these guys, and they were all like, "Yeah, we're not doing anything." It's like we're not playing. Also, he's really good, and I would love to, have the opportunity to kind of get in the studio with them. Of course, I was blown away because all of these guys I've been watching my whole life. I didn't even believe him. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You're going to get Billy Sheehan in there or Kenny Arnoff or all these dudes. And then all of a sudden I was in El Paso, and I was like living with them and 2 weeks down in El Paso. And it was just the greatest experience to be able to learn from them, be with them, hear their stories, see their playing, how they do things. And then the music that came out of it, was just amazing. And even when I brought my material to it, I was so comfortable with bringing it to such high caliber of musicians that I was like, I'm good. Whatever you guys say, let's do it. So that's how it came about. So David Davidian really kind of brought it all together, and I still talk to the guys to this day. And me and Rich are doing a bunch of different interviews together. So I kept the relationship. So I can't wait to do another record with them. So
I was going to say, how much of everyone's part was sort of arranged out and pieced together? Or I think you talked about you just trusted them at this point to really bring what they do with their craft to the song.
it was kind of yeah, it was really about. And if you listen to some of the YouTube video that we have on the interviews with the guys, it was really about just going in and trusting everybody on their instincts about what to do with the song. It was nothing was pre-planned, we did a little pre-planning of demos, but we picked those songs out of everybody that brought demos in from all kinds of places or wherever they were songwriting at that time, or the songs they had, I had, or Tommy had, and we just kind of trusted everybody to just do what they do. So it was this very organic thing, and they're just so talented and so experienced that it was easy for them to do. So it was very interesting to see it just all come together in the moment. And I think the vibe is on that record, and more to come.
I mean, I was going to ask if you were blown away by someone in particular's part, but it sounds like every single individual brought 110, if not more, to their particular part. I mean,
Yeah,
how could
I
you
can't
pick one?
choose
How
any.
could you pick any of
Yeah,
them? They're all
I can't choose
epically.
favorites on this one. I cannot.
No.
I can't. I mean, it's interesting in the morning to go down and see Billy Sheehan warming up, and you're like, whoa, he's warmed up for an hour before I'm even there. So you're like, whoa. And then you're hearing Rich just in his richness, really, of his sound, his tone, the way he thinks about it. These are like scientists, I'm like in the lab. I'm like, I'm just the guinea pig. So Tommy brought so much to the record. Tommy and Buck producing that record, and their team, and they've worked with the Hollywood, inside the Hollywood Vampires before, and they still do, and they've just worked so many times over the years. It was just so easy. Everything was so easy. I've never been through something that was as easy, but it's almost it's scary at the same time, going down into that environment. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're 2 hours from anything. I can't get out of anywhere. So I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, let's go for it. But it was great because they were so loving, and they were so nurturing to me, and I think the vibe is all over that record and what we did with that, and the relationships that were made were everlasting.
How could you not? I mean, these are people of epic proportions. I would be like, oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh, so and so, I have this phone number.
I was,
I
I
can reach
was,
out
I was, I
anytime.
was really like that. I was. It
You
was
had
kind of
plenty of
rock
those
and roll
moments,
boot
I'm
camp.
sure.
Oh yes, it was like rock and roll boot camp down there, and just seeing how they lived too, and how about the music they were. It wasn't really nothing about anything else, but let's get the song right. Let's get this
Sure.
recording right. Their life is music, and so is mine. So it kind of was easy to fit into the mold. Oh, there's no other distractions. We're just going to play music. Okay, great. So
This
it
is what we
was
were born to do, all of
this
us.
is it. So I'm in the. I felt even though I was a little intimidated, I felt at home, there.
Uh,
So yeah.
well, is there a particular song on the record that really is a favorite for you, something that truly resonates with you as an individual, or maybe even one that challenged you, whether it's vocally
Yeah.
or sonically?
I would definitely say that "Kill Me" was, and we chose that one first. I think because there's not a lot of that big epic rock ballad sort of thing out there right now, and I wanted to come out with that first, and we all decided on that, and that was important. But I think that was one of the most challenging because it was vocally challenging. It was written for a really great vocalist, and that was difficult for me to go in there and just let it rip, and not think about it too much. Of course, stuff like "Rehab for Love" that's on the album was written by me in a pretty toxic zone or getting out of one, so that was really personal. So that was difficult for me to kind of piece together and write with these guys and have their respect in writing and stuff like that. So that was one of them. And I would also say, well, "Fall in Love," which was probably going to be our second single, is just easy because it was a cover song by Frankie Miller, so it was easy just to get in there, have some fun, and 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 just get in there and just rip it and do our thing. But I would say also things like "Feet to the Fire," which is really good, and "Borderline." It would be another one that I really liked. And then "Where Will I Be" was also something that was written by Buck and Kelly. And it was a really good song because it was for me to calm down and just to be almost romantic in a sense, and to write you kind of beast of burden sort of type of song was hard for me, and but everything was kind of challenging about it, to be honest. But it was something that I really wanted to do, and I knew it was special, and um, and it came through, and we did it, and I just can't wait for people to really like, get into it and hear everything that's going on. So
Is that a song then you're also excited to maybe perform live if you guys are going to be out on tour maybe for promoting this or
we are actually. Yeah, I want to get the guys together. And again, of course, I would love to tour with that band, but it's kind of hard when they're on world tours all over the place, you know? So it's hard to get Guns N' Roses guitar player and Aerosmith's keyboard player. And Kenny Aronoff is playing everywhere. I don't know when he doesn't stop playing, you know? But it's something that I'm going to be playing out when I have my own little lineup and into what I would do. But Kill Me is something I'm going to definitely be performing. I'm actually performing on the Sunset Strip November 26th at the Whiskey, and I'm going to be performing for the first time live. So if anybody is out there and wants to come, free tickets. So yeah, right.
I was going to say, where can
Anybody that
people
is
snag
out
tickets
there,
to
I'd love.
that?
Yeah, I know, right? But
Oh
yeah,
my
that I'm going to be performing a couple tracks of what we did with those guys there, and some of my old stuff because I've been performing and writing for like 20 years now, I think. Yeah.
my goodness. Well, what can fans expect then from a live Brett Hellings performance? Is it just you with the band? Do you play full guitar? Are you going acoustic maybe at some point?
I do. I play piano, so I've been playing since I was 9. So I play a little bit of piano on Kill Me, and I played in the music video. I've been playing guitar since I was in my teens as well. So I play guitar on a couple songs, but mostly I'm shaking and screaming a little bit. That's what I do. I consider myself more of a frontman than anything. So you're going to get a very high energetic show and real soulful, nothing's fake about what I do or what we do. So that is one thing that you are guaranteed, and a good time for sure. Ups and downs and the emotions of songs and my the the career that I've had, and each era has its own little thing, but you're definitely in for a show that you hopefully won't forget, and just come see me after the show so I can say hello.
Are there certain places you love performing the most, or are you just excited to be on stage every single time of the tour?
Oh man, I would play just about anywhere. I love to play. That is one of my favorite things to do. So, LA has always had my heart just because I grew up on the Sunset Strip, learning how to perform, write. A lot of my albums are about that place. I grew up also when I was a young man in Nashville, so in and out of Nashville like 3 or 4 times. So that was always a really cool place to go. So I loved a lot of the venues down there. But LA, I would love to say that I love the most. New York's very cool, so performed there a bunch, and anywhere in the States. But I'm looking to get on maybe like a little bit of a broader tour, which would be nice. So if I could get over to Europe or Asia or anything like that, that would be really interesting, and such a privilege. So, but at every place, I would say the Viper Room. Viper Room on the Sunset
That's
Strip. That's
iconic.
what I like.
The
That's
Roxy,
what
the
I,
Viper Room, things like that. All of them
yeah,
pretty epic.
that's where
Whiskey
my
a Go
home is.
Go.
That's Yeah, all the Sunset Strip venues. That is where I come from. That's where I was made as a musician or as a front man. So
My goodness. Well, what would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music you make and continue to make after all this time?
well, I would just like to say thank you for listening first, and more to come. And we're spreading it out over the year of what we're releasing from the album. And I would love to see you live. I would love for people to come out and see it live. There's nothing like a live rock band performance. There's nothing like it, and I'm glad. I'm very very grateful to be able to do that. And so come see it live. Keep up on us. We're on social media platforms all over. We're on Apple and Spotify, Instagram, which is at Brett Hellings official right now, and we have a band page on Facebook. So just search Hellings, and you'll be able to find us and keep in touch with me. Send me a message, and and we'll link up. But come see us, and definitely more music to come. I promise that.